What's going on, guys? Riley with Northwest Strings here with the official Maverik Centrik review. I got this in yesterday, I believe. Strung it up with some ECD Hero mesh. Biggest obsession recently. Hero mesh is super awesome product, super consistent, easy to string, and I love the feel that you get. While also it's weatherproof. I need to get my hands on some throne light while we're talking about it because I hear that stuff is sick. Not really a performance mesh, but still a higher level product than what Throne is usually offering. So, the Maverik Centrik. I got the universal version, obviously. I'm about to go into college this year. And so, I wanted to I've kind of been transitioning more to mid pockets than I have to low pockets. I started out using a lot of high pockets, and then spent a bulk of my time using mid pockets and traditional pockets, or low pockets and traditional pockets. And now I've been kind of transitioning to more mid pockets and traditional pockets. This one, as you can see, sits pretty mid. It's really hard to string a bad pocket with Hero Mesh. This stuff is just unbelievable. And getting into the head a little bit, the face shape is pretty similar to an optic. Here, let me grab my optic. So, the face shapes are pretty similar. This one, it's made for more two-way players, so that meaning offense and defense. So looking at it, you can kind of tell it's like an optic and kind of has some tank influences in it. The three struts give me a more metric feel. I'm pretty sure the same sidewall design was used in the metric. Don't quote me on that. But it has a little more rigid face shape than the optic does, but virtually the same. This one just has a level 2 bottom rail, and this one has a level 4, I believe is what they called it. Just meaning it's geared toward more of a mid-high pocket. So, and that's not saying that you have to string a mid-high in it, but it's generally, the ball is just going to feel like it sits more in the middle than it does if you string like a low pocket. It's probably going to sit a little more mid-low than it does low. I'm pretty sure they have the same offset, just about the same. Something I learned while watching a mainly mesh video that was pretty interesting is that when the shaft is level, the top of the scoop being offset is about an inch below where the level is, so it drops an inch below. Just makes the release feel a little bit, just takes a little whip out of the release, making the ball come out a little more soon than it would with a less offset head, which makes the mid pocket feel better. Makes it so you can have a mid pocket with a little less whip, I believe is what he was trying to say. He compared it to the Hawk and one other, and the Metric. So that was pretty cool. I actually had no clue about that, so that was awesome. Love to learn new things. As far as stringability goes, exact same amount of sidewall holes. Kind of bummed that they only had 2 square ones at the top. You're not going to be able to see because I have those 2 filled with strings, but the top 2 holes are square and then it goes into the round ones. On the optic, it has 3 square ones. You can see I skipped one at the top and then used the other 2. I just like the 3 more because usually I would skip that top hole and do my top string in the second hole and then tie on the third. But since this hole is so small, I did not get to wrap around. So I just went in through the second hole and did not skip the first hole. And just threw a basic mid pocket in it. Pretty easy, simple pattern. Not the tightest channel, but I'm not really a stickler for channels. If it's about a ball's width, that's about good for me. That looks pretty decent for me. Throw is perfect, sits exactly where I want it to sit, performs exactly how I want it to perform. Doesn't really drop as low as I would like it to when I'm one-hand cradling, but that's just, I feel like that just has to do with the way that the head is designed for the mid pocket. And the cool thing is they kind of went a little crazier with the digging out of the sidewalls than they did on the optic. On the optic, they just did it in the struts. Here they did it kind of in that whole design, which again makes it lighter but doesn't sacrifice stiffness. And this head is definitely stiff. It's geared towards the two-way player, so it's got to be able to stand tough on defense, which I'm kind of a two-way player. I play attack, but I love to like goalie has the ball and he's messing around with it and they're passing around their zone. I love to forecheck, as you would call it in hockey. I'm totally blanking what they call it in lacrosse right now because I'm having one of those days. But I will give you guys the pattern for this pocket. It is 9 diamond top string on the first hole, and you tie on the second. And you're going to want to, so tie on the second right here, skip, skip, knot, skip, knot, skip, knot, do a 1, a 2, skip 1, skip 1, skip 1, and tie. And then it's just a 9 diamond bottom string, and it'll give you a pretty nice mid pocket, sitting about here, bag a little higher, shift a little low. I think it shifts to about here, sits about here when you're two-handing, and then one-handing it shifts about here. So like I said, doesn't shift as low as I'd like it to, but that just has to do with the bottom rail and how it is designed. So definitely a cool head. Basically just a mid-pocket version of the optic with some tank influence. You could definitely see it if you look at a tank and a Centrik and an optic all next to each other. It definitely looks like... Alright, sorry about that, guys. My camera shut off. I'm having some trouble with that lately. Yeah, pretty much all I was going to say is definitely recommend the Centrik for any two-way middies or LSMs or any people who really enjoy playing defense or the two-way game. D middies, LSMs, maybe some defensemen off the top of my head who want a more pinched head than the tank, but still want that power. Those would be the people that I would gear this towards, not necessarily for attackmen like myself. I definitely enjoy it. It's definitely for a specific style of attackmen who like to jump in on the ride. I definitely remember what that was called after my camera shut off. So definitely check out the Maverik Centrik if you are looking for something along those lines. Check out Hero Mesh if you're looking for an unbelievable product. And thanks for watching. I got a couple more videos coming out soon about where I committed to college and whatnot. So look back for those, and thanks for watching.